So
right on.
Do we even tell you what's happening around here?
Fire away. Yeah, this is when I find out what's happening.
Well, I wanted to, first of all, promote a couple of our new shows that we're launching. And the first one is Marketing Mavericks. I don't know if anybody's checked that out yet, but it's on Tuesday mornings from 8:30 to 9:30. And next week, we're going to have an interesting team, but we're going to have the CMO of the Recording Academy, the Grammys.
Wow.
He's going to be on talking about how they're integrating social into,
They did an amazing job in the last Grammys of integrating social media into it. Yeah.
They did. So he's going to be on with Tanya, and that's Evan Green on Tuesday. So you guys should really check that out.
The CMO of Taco Bell on last
She
week?
did. That was
really
her
good people on that
her
show.
first show,
Yeah,
launched
really
with the
good people.
CMO of Taco Bell. So that was pretty incredible.
Yep.
And so I just want to remind everybody they should check it out if they haven't already. And I wanted to talk about a couple of our new shows that are coming up. And you guys did see Reddit Up, I hope. That has gone into beta. We had our first one last week, and we're going to do it again tomorrow about 5 p.m. It'll be right after Tech News Tonight. So I don't know if Chad or Sarah was around because I wanted to kind of pull them up and have them talk about what they're doing. So here comes Chad.
Sarah's
We could
working
take
on Tech News Tonight, which is coming
Chad's
up in
fine.
just 15 minutes. But here comes the old redhead himself.
So, Chad, can you tell us a little bit about Reddit Up and what you guys are doing with that show?
Yeah, we just started the beta last week, and basically the idea is to kind of have a landing page for people who are either new to Reddit or, just kind of browse Reddit a little bit. We feel like hardcore users are just going to use Reddit anyway, and so they don't really need a roundup of what's been happening on Reddit over the past week. So that's who we're aiming at. So if you know what Reddit is, kind of want two people to talk and enjoy talking about Reddit.
And what's happening for the week.
Yeah, and what's happening over the weeks. We're going to cover a lot of the AMAs. It's kind of going to be a staple of it because that's a really happening subreddit every single week.
Ask me anything.
Ask me anything. And then we're going to cover the big news. So anything that got upvoted a lot, we're going to cover that. We're also going to cover...
Now, some of these are pretty visual, so you really should get this on video, but can you guys describe it while you're doing it so the audio listeners can...
Yeah, we'll definitely try to help the audio listeners out, but yeah, it's kind of hard to describe.
It's going to be a heavy visual show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch it or subscribe to it, I would highly recommend video. And because I did both. I watched the beta and I listened to the beta. And if I
and when you start
wandered
listening,
away...
you're kind of like, God, I really need that video back.
I kind of got back to my video really fast.
A lot of our viewers and listeners have gotten pretty good at imagining.
Yeah. Or just that feeling of being left out. I think they're getting used to it a little bit more.
Yeah. No, it's kind of nice to have a show like this. I think it's going to be fun and insightful on what's trending on Reddit. So I'm looking forward to that.
Right. And so, so if you're a browser of Reddit, I think that it's a great show for you. Even if you're not and you want to, we're going to cover like dot tips, kind of like how they do on iPad today. So, what does, MRW mean?
Or AMA.
Or AMA.
Correct.
Or TIL.
I love it when people do AMAs. You're supposed to prove who you are. And like Bill Gates did an AMA, Ask Me Anything, and he had the Reddit, guy in a stuffed Reddit mascot costume. Said, I'm Bill Gates. It's me. It's me. It's really me.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
Isn't that good?
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, it's not yet released as a show, but we can find it on YouTube, right? So, we are posting it on YouTube.
Right. We often do this. We do shows at kind of betas for a few episodes. This one's getting ready pretty quick. So it's not going to be too long.
Yeah, I anticipate the show being ready in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And we'll announce like the time and the date and everything like that.
So to us, it becomes a show when we do an RSS feed and then you can subscribe.
Correct. And we'll pick an actual time for the show. So we're working on that too.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think we're definitely gonna keep it in the evening. We just have to figure out where.
Yeah, we still need to find a time slot.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you, Chad.
Of course.
Thanks,
show.
Chad.
Well done.
Thank you.
So the other show that I'm excited to say should be launching in the next few weeks is going to be Jason Howell. He's doing Android App Arena. We're wrapping up the graphics, and it's going to be in the format of like i5, a little bit longer, but it's just going to be Jason.
We always thought that one of the best parts of All About Android, which Jason hosts along with Gina and Ron, is the app arena, where they each come in with an app, and then you vote on which one's the best. And I just love that. And we wanted to do an Android app show. We felt like Android deserves an app show. There's so many great apps.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're going to base it around the arena concept. But I think there's a lot of new stuff, too.
And Android App Arena will still be in All About Android. That's not leaving it or anything. But it is going to be its own standalone show. He's also going to bring in like developers and talk about what they're developing and things like that. So there'll be interviews. It'll not just cover the apps, but also the people that are creating the apps.
Yeah, Jason's great for this, and he's really thought about it a long time.
He has. And so it'll be like, i5, but it'll be a longer format. It'll be about 15 to 20 minutes is where we're targeting. And as soon as the graphics are done, we're going to announce the launch date of that show. So we're pretty excited.
Yay.
Yes, so we'll have 2 AAA shows. I kind of love it.
She wants to confuse you.
No, it just makes sense. So it'll be AAA 2, but nobody will know what that means if the first one should ever go away. So it's kind of funny. And the other show that we're launching.
Good Lord, are we launching that many new shows?
Yes.
Oh, I love this new one.
Do you guys like this?
You and I are going to be on it.
See, they can handle it. They can handle the 2 All About Android shows as well as all the new show. Who will advertise for the 2 new shows? I don't know yet. We're going to work on that later. The idea is to create the best content we can, and then the advertisers will follow.
Exactly.
Right?
I really don't like the idea of as many networks and even public television now will say, well, let's start with the advertiser. We don't start with the advertiser.
Everybody starts with the advertiser.
We start with what you might want to watch, what we think is important to cover.
There you go.
Then I'm sure we'll find advertisers for it. Most of our existing advertisers want to be on these shows.
It depends on the show, but yes, I think a lot of our existing advertisers will gravitate to some of the new shows, and we're pretty excited about that.
So the show you and I are going to be on.
There's going to be a show that you're going to see me on from time to time, as well as several other hosts on TWiT, we're going to do a beta on Saturday, May 10th at 3 p.m. So please write this date down. Did I tell you we're working on a Saturday
It's on my calendar. I saw it.
I put it on your calendar. And it's a show called I'd Fund That.
I'd fund that.
So
I'd fund that.
Hey, Glenn, why don't you come join us for a minute?
Was this Glenn's idea? I think it was. He spearheaded it.
Glenn spearheaded it, and we brought it up in several shows. And we thought it would be fun. All these people are, launching Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns. Yeah. And we thought it'd be fun to bring in people that are launching something in those realms or trying to pitch something in the technology realm.
Yes.
And thought we would bring them in and have them present and have our opinions.
I think it's important now because we've seen there's been a lot of controversy with some Indiegogo or Kickstarter campaigns. People have a natural skepticism whether people can do some of the things they're claiming that the products can, or if the product will ever even be finished, right? I mean, there's not a lot of recourse if you fund something and the charge goes through and then, it falls apart. So the idea is to do, a little bit of vetting in bringing people in, having them demo. You guys can grill them with questions, and then the audience can make up their own mind as to whether or not they deem something as viable.
Yeah, so I mean, it is very much like Shark Tank or
similar.
What was it?
Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den.
But the difference is we're not giving them any money.
Yeah.
They're not coming on the show to get money, but merely to kind of get vetted from a panel of experts in tech and business, and then us saying good or not, and you getting the chance to see it. And then actually, really, you'll have to fund it.
Well, there'll be some, we're going to do some production work on this show. So if people do have a business plan, I would like to see it pre-show. I mean, I'd like to see what they're considering in their concept. But, if we don't have that, then they'll get my business perspective when they're pitching here, as well as, the panel's perspective.
And I mean, I think it's high risk, high reward, right? I mean, someone could come in with a demo and completely bomb, or they could come in and it could go fabulously, and they get the exposure of the TWiT audience.
We pretty much assume that everybody who is on Kickstarter wants the publicity.
Oh, definitely. We get emails about that all the time, in fact, and we can't possibly mention
it. And it won't just be Kickstarter, Indiegogo. I presume it'll be other funding sites,
other crowdfunding sites as well. And if people want to apply, so basically you need to have a campaign that's going to be running next month. And you send an email with information about your campaign. You have to travel here, be willing to travel here to the brick house to give a little demo and take the Q&A. And you can send an email to I'd Fund That, IDFUNDTHAT @twit.tv.
Great.
Yes. Yep. Yes, I'm really excited about this.
Glenn.
So
thanks for pushing that through.
So I think that's a lot of shows to be launching in the next month.
No kidding.
And we have more. Should I talk about the rest?
There's more?
Yes.
Well, somebody was asking in the chat room, why don't you do more stuff in the morning? And of course, morning where you are isn't morning where we are, but we have a very good treatment from Tanya for a morning show. We're trying to figure out personnel for that. I think it's got to be, that's a tough show to do well, but it's certainly something we've always wanted to do as a morning
and we talked about doing a longer morning show, and we want to do something a little shorter just to launch it and see how that would be.
But morning isn't morning. You know, I was talking to somebody who's in England, I guess, and he said, your shows begin exactly at the right time for me. 11 o'clock, our time is early evening.
We're talking
Kids are
about
in bed,
morning
we've had
here.
dinner. So that's the thing. We're an international
So what they can do is they can subscribe to the show and they can watch it when it's
morning
their
your
morning.
time.
I mean, I think it would be like a lighter show. It's going to be a little bit more of a morning zoo feel
More of
to
morning
it.
style.
Still tech oriented, which I think it needs to be. But, you know, I think it would be amazing to have something on that. Well, I'm looking at the chat room. I don't really... Do you guys care where I'm looking?
No one cares where you're looking.
Put the camera on the both of us. There you go. But I did see a couple of questions in the chat room that, yeah, my camera should be...
Don't worry about it.
Because I can't read.
I'm seeing the chat room. Here, you can look at it here,
But no,
too.
people are telling me over here to look over here, but I can't read the chat room, so I need to look over here. People are asking who else will be on the I'd Fund That show. It's not just primarily me. I think Leo will be there mostly. I will be like a regular person, but not every show. We're going to have Mike Elgin on. We're hopefully going to have John C. Dvorak on it.
More people.
I haven't told him yet, so everybody ping him and tell him he's starting a new show that I haven't even told him about.
Don't. That's not how he should find out.
No, I'll call him and talk to him. But I mean, he's someone we would love to have on.
Every Friday we do a fun thing. We everybody goes home, and then oddly enough, there's this guy who sneaks back into the studio.
Yeah, that's the other show I wanted to talk about. No, go ahead.
Well, he sneaks back in the studio. And he does like interview shows. Why don't you come over here, Padre?
And sometimes Padre does this though on a Wednesday night. I've walked in on one, but yeah, we're gonna.
Padre's Corner was something that you, Padre, said. You just asked me, hey, can I do this in my spare time? It's something I'd like to do for myself. And I said, well, you should use our studio.
Yeah. Originally, I went to you and I said, hey, you know, I want to play around with this. I don't want it to affect my Twit stuff. And you were generous enough to say, hey, if you're going to do this, we don't have anything on Fridays. Why don't you just
Everybody's
come in
gone home.
Practice it here.
Go ahead and take it over. Well, we like it so much, and people love it so much, we thought maybe we should make this a show.
We could do that, yeah.
Would that be all right?
Yeah, I'd love it. I mean, it's fun. It's you know, it's something that you do every weekend, and I don't think people realize how hard it is to run a show and run the board and produce at the same time.
Padre's been sitting at our TD station doing that.
It's really difficult.
It's kind of cool though. Huh?
A lot of people love that show. I think and one of the reasons that I didn't want to say it's a Twit show. First of all, it's because you came to me with it as your own idea, not as a Twit idea. But also, I didn't want to get it too formal or uncomfortable. I wanted you to feel like, you know, it's free and open. So I hope that if we do, and all it means to make it a Twit show is that we will put it on a feed and it'll come as one of the Twit shows in the Twit page on iTunes and things like that. And I guess, I don't know, maybe will we try to sell it, or is it hopeless?
Well, no, that would be. I want to try to sell everything.
Okay, so
I still am a business person.
We might put some ads if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
But otherwise, I want it to really feel like Padre's Corner, and it's not. It is kind of an unaffiliated, independent production.
It's unaffiliated. It's independent, and the idea is, you know, it's not like the other Twit shows where they're regimented. They have a theme, a focus. Padre's Corner is really about the stuff that kind of drops through the cracks.
Right.
Things that techies may find interesting, but aren't specifically a tech story.
Right.
And yeah, I think it's been pretty successful so far.
Yeah, I like it.
It has been fabulously successful. So we want it.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I agree.
Easy enough. Give me Ozzy once a month.
Do you need Ozzy?
Yes. Give me custody of your dog once a month, and we'll call it even.
You have to take him home though and bring him back the next day. You can have a sleepover.
Right. I think you should start calling it though. I don't know. Friday night
confessional.
Yeah, something. There's something with Friday.
Oh my gosh, it's not that kind of show.
I heard the thought coming out of your head.
No, just ignore Leo's thought. It can be Padre's Corner.
All right.
I like that.
All right. Thank you, Padre.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
So what else is coming up? And we have more shows, but we'll talk about those next time. I got to save something for an element of surprise, right?
Well, and there's always more shows. And we should also let you know that sometimes when you put on more shows, some shows go away. Maybe those shows. If they don't make it, but
we're working on
we
that.
don't have anything in the
wind down a couple more shows.
Yeah, we don't currently have anything we're going to wind down. Ultimately, I'd love to have 24/7, but there are some shows that maybe we will discontinue. But at this point, we don't have any plans to or nothing to announce. Let's put it that way.
We'll have something to announce in a couple months. So I'll let you know.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
No, it's not being afraid. It's just time. So, yeah, I like to keep people on their toes. I do have a couple more announcements. We are going to be at Maker Faire, which I really like.
Good. That's coming up when?
It'll be on May 17th and May 18th. And we're actually, for everybody listening in the chat room, if you're in this area, we're going to have some tickets. I reached out to Maker and I've asked that they send us a couple, about 25 to 50 pairs of tickets. So they're going to send some up here and we're going to do a little PR for them. We're doing it right now. It's a really fun event. So I believe Aaron Newcomb is going to have a booth there and we're sending Padre down for the 2 days. And Padre, I'm going to go on the first day and scope it out with you too. So I'll be there as press on the first day. And then on the 18th, I'm going to bring Michael and not play press and let them go and film everything. But I just wanted to go down and make connections. And I just think it's a really phenomenal event to allow. It's a great place for kids to get together and meet makers, and it just is a exciting event every year. So I enjoyed it last year and we're going to cover it again this year. What was the last thing? What else do we have?
We're going to do live coverage of Facebook's F8 conference. That's coming up, I think next month, right?
It's next week.
Is it next week?
It's next Wednesday.
It's next Wednesday. All right, coming up Wednesday.
Yes.
I am not going to be live in studio on Saturday. I pre-recorded the show. Thanks to all of you who helped pre-record the Tech Guy show. That was nice of you. I will be back on Sunday for the Tech Guy and TWiT.
The new agreement with ABN.
That's good. The Auto Broadcasting Network.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I'm like, why does that sound familiar?
We will be in the service centers of some car dealerships at some point in time with Triangulation and some other shows.
Yeah.
We're always trying to do that. We're on, Air Canada?
We are. We're on Air Canada right now. So, but what we put in the auto dealerships though are like TWiT bits as well. I mean, so some of it's topical and some of it's informational, where you have know-how and a few other things on there too.
Do you want to mention Liz?
Well, if you want to, on Inside TWiT.
Liz Romero is moving on.
Yeah,
We're sorry to say the bounce. You know who she is, Lizard77, the woman who's always bouncing in the background on her ball.
Yeah,
like
she's the one bouncing on her ball all the time. So she's decided she's going to go to New York, and I have to let her go. It's hard, but we
love her, and she's going to do great there.
She's going to be fine. She's going to have a great time. She's going to come visit us, but she's no longer going to be an employee here.
Still trying to sell T-shirts at teespring.com/TWiT.
That would be my last thing. We have T-shirts and tank tops for the men and the ladies. So guys, these are actually really cool.
They fit anybody.
If you're a woman,
even if you're 8 feet tall, they will fit anybody.
See, but so guys, if you're ladies really aren't into TWiT, they might be into this.
Look at the Bella spaghetti strap.
That is so cool.
We got that because
we got that for me and for Tanya.
Lisa and Tanya and all the women here. TWiT has a lot of women both on camera and off. And
see how short Chad is? You guys didn't realize how big Patrick is.
Oh, Patrick is like the land of the giants. It's amazing. It really is. Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
We all think the world of him, though. So I just wanted to thank you for everything you've done. Oh! I shouldn't get on my knees.
No, Leo needs help getting up. Just don't turn this way. Good.
That was a good shot.
We almost got a good shot, but I'm glad you got up this way.
And Ozzy, the wonder dog.
Ozzy has his own chair now and his own mic.
By Father Robert Balliser. Thank you very much. All right, it's time for Tech News Tonight, unless you have something else.
I think that's it. Thanks,
everyone.
Thank you,
everybody. That's Inside TWiT for the week.